today's class by playing a short trivia game. Okay. Next, I will project the game. I'm sorry, I'm going to this sound. It's kind of okay. Next, I will project the game, and you must take turns to answer the questions by raising your hand. If you cannot do, ask by activating your microphone. Are you ready to start with this fun trivia, students?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to ask for some volunteers, please. So, who would like to be the first one? Um, I can see the names, or I can
Daniela, maybe
ask
you can,
someone.
yes, maybe you can
Yeah.
ask. Yes.
Okay. Carla Muñoz. Yes. No. Okay. Next one, Esteban Diaz.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. No. Yes. I can hear you.
I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. So this is the first question. You can answer whatever you want. Or if you like, we can go to another question. If it's that random, I don't know.
Um, my attention is going to your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Next one. If you could choose an imaginary friend, who would you choose and why? Maybe Felipe Ibanez?
Yeah, I'm sure. Again,
Could you answer this question, please?
if you could choose an imaginary friend, who would you choose and why? Um, mm,
Maybe it can be someone famous, or I don't know.
yeah, maybe such as Eddie Vedder.
That's cool. That's a very cool imaginary friend. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next one. Um, can Gonzalo? No, you can't. Ignacio Sandoval, maybe.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Do you like checking at the beginning of meetings? Why? You can choose another question if you like. This is kind of boring. I don't know.
No, no, I mean it's okay. Maybe.
Okay. Thank you.
Um. Well, I do like. Yes, I like checking in at the beginning of the meetings because you can you can start like the meeting with more um being more concentrated. That's what I
Hmm.
want to say.
Yeah, I
You can
agree
start the
with
meeting being more concentrated.
you. Yeah,
I mean,
and you can like present yourself to the others, maybe, right?
yeah, it's a
Oh,
good way to start.
thank you very much. Okay, the last one. Um, what Smurf are you right now? Are you familiar with the Smurfs? Maybe you're not. I don't know. Maybe it's too old for us.
I am not familiar with the word.
The Smurfs are these? Can somebody answer that question?
In Spanish, los pitufos.
Yes, exactly. I think it was famous in the 80s. It was like a TV show, a cartoon
What was
TV
the
show.
name of that one that was always angry? Like Grumpy?
I
No.
think
What?
Grumpy, I think. I
Yes.
think so,
I,
yeah.
I
I think
feel
it was
like I'm that one
Grumpy
all the
Smurf.
time.
I think somebody was talking too. I couldn't hear the other girl.
It was me, Javi. I just say that was Grumpy Smurf.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. I don't know that many Smurfs though. I think they have the names like the seven enanitos. I don't know how to say it. I'm not that familiar. Okay, okay. Last question. This was kind of tricky, right? Okay, next one. Um, I I can call somebody, or do I have some volunteers? No. Yes. No. Maybe. Javiera Morales. No. Um,
What do you mean by transportation? Like,
I, I'm not sure. This is kind of random. I think
oh, okay.
it's exactly a transportation. Like, what type
Like,
of transportation are
like
you right now?
I'm a taxi or a bus or
Yeah,
something like that.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, I would say I'm a taxi maybe,
Thank
or
you. And why?
I don't know. I I have no idea. I feel like a taxi.
Mm, might be. Sometimes I feel like a taxi too. Yes. And sometimes I feel like a limousine, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Let's continue with the presentation, students. Okay, now I'm going to. Okay, now I have prepared another activity for you this afternoon. Would you like to join us? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
um, okay, thank you, students. First, I will give you the instructions, and then if there is any question, please ask. You can raise your hand, or you can just activate your microphone. Sorry. Okay, the instructions are the following. I will ask for some volunteers again to read some bad jokes, but you will have to guess which is the missing word inside that bad joke. I will show you an example to begin, okay? Please pay attention. Okay, a bad joke will come up in your screen, maybe you are watching it, right? Okay, it says, knock knock, who's there? Ara. Ara who? Had a bad dream last night. And now I can think about the answer. There's something strange in these words, right? Maybe something's missing. And I would say, okay, the word that maybe, or the letter specifically, that it's missing, it's had. Had a bad dream last night. Did you understand, students, or maybe I can explain a little bit more? Yes,
Nah,
no?
it was clear. It was very clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a volunteer for the first one, please?
I can do it as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, there it is.
All right. Knock knock. Who's there? Uzi. Uzi who? Uzi in charge around here.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
All right. The missing word is whose.
Excellent. That's the answer. Who's in charge? Thank you very, very much. Okay, next one. Who would like to do the next one?
I like to.
Thank you.
How does the moon cut his hair? Eclipse it.
That's a tricky one, right?
Oh yeah, that's a difficult one. Eclipse it. How does the moon cut his hair?
You can ask for help if you want, maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm going to call that that comodín
Okay.
uh, to the public.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd, please help me.
It could be like she something.
Yeah, it's warm. It's something like that. Yes, thank you.
Mm.
How does the moon cut his hair?
It's like
It flips it. I don't know,
Sorry,
but
what was the answer?
it clips it.
Yes, you said he, right?
I said it, but if it
Oh
is he,
no.
I don't know.
I'm the worst. Okay, let's pretend that I didn't
I don't
say
know.
that. I'm sorry, but it was he clips it.
Oh,
Thank you.
close.
Thank you, y'all. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, next one. I'm sorry for saying the answer. I'm the worst. Sorry. Okay. Who would like to do the next one, please?
Oh, I can do it this one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. Thank you.
Knock knock, who's there? Allison. Allison who? I listen to all sort of music, and you? I listen to all sort of music.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so we drop the T and in I listen and combine the two words. That's kind of the explanation. Thank you very much. Okay, we have some more. Who would like to go next, please?
I would like to do it.
Thank you.
Okay. Knock knock. Who's there? Thermos. Thermos who? There must be a better punchline than this. It is there must be.
Exactly. Thank you. So we drop the T in I listen and combine the two words. They're mass, right? Okay, thank you very much. The next one, please.
That's the same one.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so
Yes.
sorry. Technical problems.
Don't worry.
Okay, that's the last one, guys. Please, if students, sorry. If somebody wants to do it, please.
I can do it if you want.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So knock knock. Who's there? Hall. Hall. Oh, sorry. Hall who? How you know unless you let me in? And it would be the how will you know?
Exactly. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Okay. So the explanation is this one. We drop the vowel in will and combine how and I. Okay. Students in general, have you noticed a pattern in this activity? If someone has the answer, you can say it, and if not, I can explain to you. No? Yes? Maybe?
There are some sounds that we kind of eliminate or change to for another's, and so the sentence would be more easy to pronounce, I guess.
Yes, yes, it is. It is exactly that. Thank you very much. Um, okay, I would say that the explanation, if you like to, so it says, well, that is because I introduced you to a new topic, which is sorry, elision. This happens often in English speech. In short, this is when native speakers lose a sound to make it easier for them to talk, as your classmate said. Thank you very much. Okay.
Hello, it's my turn now. It is easy to find examples of elision, but very difficult to state rules that govern which sounds may be elided and which may not. Elision of vowels in English usually happens when short, unstressed vowels occurs between voiceless consonants, like for example in the first syllable of perhaps, potato, and the second syllable of bicycle, or the third syllable of philosophy. Um, how could you thank you?
Yes.
Elision of sound can be clearly seen. Sorry, can be seen clearly in contracted forms like isn't, is not, I'll, I shall, I will, whose, who is, who has, they, they, they have, they should, or they would, haven't, have not, and so on. We see from these examples that vowels or a consonant can be elided, like in the case of contraction, or words like library, pronounced in rapid speech as library. The whole seal is elided.
Oh,
Elision is no, that's okay, Javi.
okay.
Elision is the omission of sounds, syllables, or words in speech. This is done to make the language easier to say and fast. Example: I do know, camera for camera, and fusion sheet are all examples of elision. In the classroom, elision is an important area. Uh, no, but please, in listening skills, as learners are often unable to hear elated words correctly, especially if they have little contact with native speakers. Word counting and dictations are two activities that practice recognition whilst at the production stage, while in elated forms, such as contracted forms, is common. Like I say, elision is very common because um, when we don't have like contact with native speakers, we think that these words are normal or something like that. Uh, always listen to people that say I want, I gonna, because we think that sometimes it's correct, but it's an example of elision. And that are some examples and a little definition of elision.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Pablo here. So, we know that elision is omitting one or more sounds from a word or phrase, right? So, we have to know that this ability is to pronounce words easier and is used in casual or informal speech. It helps you to sound smoother and more natural. But right now, let's going to do some exercises if you know the correct answer, or maybe if you can guess, because it's not that hard how it look like. Okay, let's see the first one. We have going to. I'm going to do this example, and I'm going to ask you guys if you can guess the next ones. So going to is gonna. So, is there any volunteer or somebody else who would like to participate? Ignacio Sandoval, would you like to try the next one, please?
Yeah. What?
The second one we have 1 2. Could you try? We have from up to down.
Uh, um, it's gonna. May,
Yes, that's the first one. I was talking about the
may,
second one. 1 2.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to silence.
All right, are you here, guys? All right, so let's change the way. Let's use two words for person. So Ignacio was doing the first one, which is going to, and he has 1 2. Do you know the correct answer? Do you know how to abbreviate?
I think that is want to is wanna maybe.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Um, in the next one, we Ignacio, we have cannot. Can you recognize the original word? Cannot. How can you change that?
Like this is abbreviated, so I have to guess
Mm-hmm.
the correct one as is count. Can't or
Exactly. Yes. Perfect. Uh, we have a tricky one here. The second one, sorry, the next one. I'm going to check the participates. If you could guess the, is there any volunteer who would like to know, who would like to try this word over? Because it's not a word that we usually do in the abbreviate form. Karina Pino, would you like to try?
Maybe over.
Yeah, it's over.
Okay.
We usually use that word, and sometimes we say or. I know it's kind of odd, but I know. But over is pretty clear. And the next one, could you try the next one, please?
It's.
Yes, it's. We change it is to it's with an apostrophe. Um. All right. So may I bother you with the last one, please?
Isn't with
Yes.
the apostrophe instead of the O.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you, Karina.
You're
Very
welcome.
kind. All right. So we have another one here. The next one, the top in the top mid. Sara Gartes, could you help me, please? All right. Jorge Pinto, could you please help me in the first one in the middle?
The answer is I.
Yes, correct. It's I. What about him? Have you? Well, this is kind of a tricky one because it's not changing the word; it's the pronunciation. It's like no, no. This is a tricky one. It's not going to work. How do you pronounce comfortable when are you talking? I mean, when you try to change the word, can you guess? I can help
Yes,
you.
it would be comfortable.
Yes, exactly. You totally understood the illusion. Thank you. And will you try family?
Family.
Yeah, could you try it? How can you change that word?
Mm, I think would be family, just without the A sound.
Yeah, it's like family, right? Family. All right. So we have the three words left. Margaret, could you try? Would you like to? Margaret Salgado?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I've just got here and I don't know.
Oh, don't
But
worry, don't worry. It's not that hard. We are in the
okay.
word I don't know. Have you ever read or heard how do you abbreviate that word? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I thought that I don't know was already.
All right. Anyone want to try, or I could give you the answer, guys. So, mhm.
If
Excuse
you
me.
don't mind, I could say it.
Oh, go
It's,
ahead, please.
the answer would be do not.
Yes, that's right. Would you like to try the next one?
Camera.
Yes, the original word is camera, but when you try to abbreviate that, it sounds a little bit different.
Camera.
Camera, yeah, we say like camera. And the last one, well, we use that word in when we well, anyone wants to try the word ant?
Maybe just pronouncing the end. I'm sorry, the end, like in
Yes,
rock and roll.
exactly. It's like the best example. Ant. It's like not and it's like a sound, like a single sound. Thank you, very kind. Could we go to the next slide, please, Javiera? Thank you. So we have the deletion of This can occur in several environments. In connected speech, can easily disappear at word boundaries when the sound comes at the start of a word, positioned between two stressed syllables, as in go away. We have go away, but when we use elision, we say go away. I know that most of you have heard that in a single conversation. Or we have, when it's followed by a stressed syllable, begin with R or L. We have the word police, but we don't say police, we say police. Pretty similar with the word please, but it's police. Well, the last one, we have elision can also occur when sounds comes in the middle or final combination, as in preferable, which we say preferable, and library, when we say library. So Gonzalo is going to do the summary of this content. So please, Gonzalo, it's your turn. Thank you
Thank you,
for
Pablo. Thank you, Pablo. I'm Gonzalo, and to recap or summarize that information, elision is the emission of a sound or a phoneme in speech. Elision is a common in casual conversation, but in a formal conversation, it's not very common for elision to be used. Since elision deals with manipulation of phonemes, it would make sense that we do better at reading abstract several words. Our capacity for abstraction is what makes us understand this word. Here we have another example. Just to recap, a word that can be said in different ways depending of the speaker. Use solution. For instance, temperature have different ways to say using the elision. Please, I need a person to read the different ways. Please let me choose. I need to read that. Um, Camila Fernando Tarola, it's here. Camila? No. Another. Jorge Pinto. Jorge Pinto is here.
Yes.
You are participating very examples, and please, could you read the different ways to say the word temperature, please?
Yes. The first one is temperature. The
Yes.
second one is temperature. The next one is temperature. And sometimes people say temperature.
Yes. Different ways to say the word temperature. And finally, here we have an example with use deletion in a sentence. For instance, what's the library open on Wednesdays in February? When to use elision, could you say Goods library is opening Wednesday in February? It is a different way to say that sentence. Please, Javiera, could you next slide? Thank you. Connect speech process, they can change the shape of a word, but they don't necessarily make word more difficult to understand to L1 speakers. With the L1 speakers, I mean people who have English as their first language or native language, and they may offer a challenge to L2 learners listening. I mean those, and about to L2 learners listening, I mean those who have English as a second language.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We have
Yes.
come to the end of our presentation, right? So thank you very much for your kind participation, students. And if you have any questions or anything you can want to say to us, please, this is it, the time. I'm sorry.
Any questions?
Yes.
Not a question, but a comment about your presentation because I really enjoyed it. I think everything was very clear. Uh, I learned today about elisions, so that's what really matters about it. So yeah, I would like to say that.
Thank you very much. Anyone
Great.
else? Thank you.
Yes, any other questions or comments?
Mhm. Well, I think it was clear. Thank you again, students. It was very fun and I don't know, it was cool. Thank you.
Well done, guys. Well done. Thank you for presenting, and thank you to all the ones that participated as well. So should we go already into the second presentation? Is the group here? Oh, Professor
Yes.
Bruno. Sorry, Jorge. Professor Bruno said that he liked the SpongeBob SquarePants theme. Yes, it was really fun, and it seemed you had a good time in your micro teaching class. So that's important as well. Thank you, Professor. Jorge, would you like starting your presentation?
Yeah, we're going to start right now.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we're
Go on.
here.
Great.
Can you see the PPT?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
From the beginning. Okay.
Right. Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you. Did
Yes,
you
very clear.
do you need your sound to be shared as well? Were you able to do that?
No, not really.
We don't need to.
I don't have
You
any
don't need
sound,
it. Okay,
any
no worries.
effects.
And yes, and Professor said in the chat box that when you start talking, remember to introduce yourselves. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Go on.
Okay, so good afternoon to everyone. My name is Ignacio, and with my classmates Jorge, Joanna, and Felipe, we'll teach you about the regressive assimilation. First of all, to introduce you to the topic, we must be clear that in the rapid flow of normal speech, sounds change partially or entirely, right? The features of sounds in the phonological system of a language can be affected due to processes that are known as phonological processes, among which are assimilation, dissimilation, insertion, and others.
Joanna here, hi. Before going to the topic of regressive assimilation, we thought that it was important for you to know what is assimilation, right? So you can uh, have a clear understanding of the topic that we will explain later, okay? So, assimilation is a sound change in which some phonemes, typically vowels and consonants, right, change to be more similar to other nervous sounds. Okay, It is a common type of phonological process across languages. Assimilation also can occur either with a word or between words. It occurs in normal speech and it becomes more common in rapid speech, which is when you talk really fast. Assimilation also can work in both directions.
but the anticipatory or regressive is the same one, but it has different names. Type is usually assumed to be more common than the preservative or progressive type. In the former, which is the anticipatory or regressive, one or more preceding consonants become more similar to the following one, while in the later, which is the preservative or progressive, sorry, it is exactly the other way around. Next slide.
Jorge Pinto here. As you can see, there are different types of assimilation. I'm going to talk about the first one, the assimilation of place. First, when a sound changes its place of articulation to another place, it is called assimilation of place. This change of location depends on the position of articulation of the neighboring sounds. In the case of regressive assimilation, the sounds t and d tend to change their place of articulation to a position nearer to that of the following sound. In other words, alveolar stops, alveolar phonemes such as t, d, and n may become bilabial. If followed by bilabial consonants such as p, b, and m sounds, they may become velar stops, k, g. If they are followed by velars, such as I said before, sounds k and g, though they assimilate, but they don't change the invoicing.
Felipe Ibanez here. The second type is the assimilation of matter. Like assimilation of place, assimilation of manner refers to new boring sounds become similar in their manner of articulation. Additionally, it is usually heard in very rapid speech or very informal situations and can be either progressive or regressive. In the case of regressive, could be in the phrase that side and good night. In that side, the plosive t becomes fricative s, and in good night, the plosive d becomes nasal na. Generally, according to Borley, assimilation of manner tends to be regressive with less obstruction of air.
And the last one is assimilation of voice. Finally, it is difficult to produce a consonant cluster in many languages, including English, with different voicing values for the consonants, particularly if the consonants are obstruents. That means fricatives or plosives. When two consonants are in the coda, they have to agree in voicing either voiced or voiceless. In other words, in a cluster of two consonants differing in voicing, the second consonant has to agree in voicing with the preceding one. It's like the assimilation of voice is of two forms, across morpheme boundaries, and the other is across word boundaries.
Regressive assimilation. Well, to start, what is regressive assimilation? This is the opposite of progressive and can be called anticipatory because it changes the sound of the word that is previous to the one that made the effect. And in this case, it can be defined as the change in phoneme characteristic due to influence of a sound occurring later in the word. Therefore, regressive assimilation occurs when the features of a phoneme are modified by those of the phoneme immediately following it.
We have the general classification of the regressive assimilation. uh, will be partial or total. Partial simulation occurs when one sound is influenced by the next sound and acquires similar properties of it, but remains different in other features. It is noticed that most assimilations are partial, in which the assimilated sound becomes only one similar but not identical to the influencing sound. On the other side, what is meant by total assimilation is that a sound is totally affected by a neighboring sound and both sounds become one or become identical. Partial assimilation can also refer to another assimilation which is called contact assimilation, in which the two sounds involve auditory adjacent and also is present in just one word. For example, in the case of bean, tan, and pen, the coda influence to the vowel sound with its nasality, and examples like bet, get, and pet, the two sounds influence with his plosiveness in the vowel sound.
Now we have some examples. Jorge Pinto here. Now the examples to explain or to understand how it does work regressive assimilation. For example, in this phrase, the 10 bikes, the normal form in colloquial speech would be 10 bikes with an M sound, which would sound somewhat careful. In this case, the assimilation has been partial. The N sound has fallen under the influence of the following B and has adopted its viability, becoming N sound. It has not, however, adopted its plosiveness.
All right. Below the example of 10 bikes, we have 10 mice. In the case of the clause 10 mice, both sounds are nasal. But here, the sound n takes the bilabiality of the following m, becomes the two sounds in just one. So in the end, we have to say 10 mice.
In this example, light blue, the sound t becomes a p sound, acquiring the biliability. In this situation, both sounds are plosive and bilabial now, but the manner of voice is kept different. Therefore, we have a case of partial regressive assimilation. And in the following example, a good boy, in this case, occurs the same that the first one. As the example before, however, both sounds have exactly the same features and become as one.
Okay, let's take a look on example on lyrics. Here in the presentation, you can read that it says regressive assimilation is commonly used in rap songs due to rapid speech. Listen to any song of Eminem?
Yes.
Yeah. You know that Eminem always rap very, very fast. Even sometimes he's over himself. So this song is called Rap God. Have you ever listened to Rap God?
Yes.
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 Okay. The lyric says, but for me to rap like a computer must be in my genes. Obviously, I'm not going to rap because I'm not Eminem. In this case, the word in my Based on the analysis of place articulation, the phoneme the phoneme n, which belongs to alveolar sound, becomes m, bilabial sound. And in the terms of manner of articulation, they belong to the same classification, namely nasal sounds. And seen from the voicing point of view, they belong to the voiced sounds.
Okay, Felipe Ibañez again, and uh, like a tip, we have other case of regressive assimilation. The regressive assimilation is commonly seen in some prefix, such as im before t, s, d, and na, im before sounds with p, b, and ma, il before another l, and ir before another r. With examples, we have indirect and insane in the case of im, impolite, imbalanced, and immoral in the case of im, illegal in the case of ill, and irregular in the case of ir.
Okay, so now that we have learned about assimilation and more importantly about regressive assimilation, it is time for you to practice what we have learned. Okay, so this is a quiz, but it is a quiz that is done just for fun. So don't worry too much about it. It's just for you to see how much you have learned. Um, we will in the quiz you will answer some questions related to the topics that we covered today. So everyone, if you can go to the following link, which is quizzes.com/join, or you can also go to joinmyquiz.com. Both sites uh, are completely correct for you to use. And then you will enter a code that my classmate will that will appear in the screen in a bit. So please go to joinmyquiz.com or quizzes.com /join, whatever you prefer. It's up to you.
So yes, guys, it is very important to you to remember that you don't have to be nervous about the quiz. This is just for fun. This is just to see how much you learned in our presentation, in our class. This is where we just have fun together. This is the moment.
The screen is visible.
I mean, you're sharing the presentation still.
Okay, let me fix it. Now?
Yes, there is the screen. Okay, guys.
Okay.
There is the code on the screen. You can see the code on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So there's the code, and if you want to, I can beat aloud. It's 042813. So you have to enter the code. We are all right. We have participants already. We can see Karen, Fran, Tamarita, Cami, Fanny, no se llama,
I'm logging in. Wait for me, please.
Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. More participants incoming, so we are going to wait until everyone is ready. We can see Vivi, Carla, Big Boss. All right. Are you in, Pablo? It was Pablo, the
Yes,
one
yes,
who.
yes. Almost, almost.
Okay. No, no, don't worry. Just tell us.
Okay.
All right.
Players are
There
ready?
he is. Okay.
Okay, let's start.
The first question is: features of sounds in the phonological system of a language can be affected because of processes called. There are four options for you to choose, so and only one is the correct one. The correct answer was phonological processes. Congratulations to everyone who answered that question right.
So, question number 2. It says, the change in phoneme characteristics due to influence of a sound occurring later in the world. Which is the definition for this description? Come on, the time is almost up. Okay, congrats, Tamarita. And the right answer was regressive assimilation.
Okay, in the third question, sounds change in which some phonemes change to be more similar to other nearby sounds. This concept refers to 5 minutes, 5 seconds left. Time's up. Congrats to Tamarita. She keeps in the first place, and everybody's was correct. Well done. Excellent.
All right. Let's head up to the question number 4. Question number 4. In which of the following sentences we can find a regressive assimilation? Read very carefully the 4 options that you have. 15 seconds left. We can see 3 out of 14 people already answered. The answers keep coming. Come on. Okay, 5 seconds left. Okay, time's up. We're gonna see the answers. What about the podium? Tamarita on the first place, still Fran second, and Evans on the third. Okay, guys, correct answer was I have to go to London tomorrow. The regressive assimilation occurs in the have to, in this part. Okay. Congratulations to everyone who has corrected. And keep going, guys.
The next question is, sorry, identify a regressive assimilation in the following sentence. Of course that I want. You have 4 seconds, right? Okay. Very well done. The correct answer in this case is, of course, the regressive assimilation occurs between, of course, like the two words.
So the next question is, sometimes the sounds partially assimilate with the surrounding sounds. This statement belongs to which kind of process refers to this definition? Come on, you can do it. There are just two people missing the answer. All done. Okay, Tamarita is undefeatable now, and the right answer was partial assimilation.
Okay, like the question before, you must to write the answer to the next question. What kind of regressive assimilation is present in the following sentence? Emulation, an immortal, and powerful bands of death metal. $30 left. It's one of the other cases was presented. Wow. It was the total regressive assimilation. As I said before, it's a kind of the tips of regressive assimilation, because we have two M, so they sound together in emulation and immortal. That's no problem, just for fun. It's another way to learn.
Okay, we are reaching the final of this. Read carefully, because here you have to choose one or more alternatives that presents regression on it. All right, you have to choose one or more alternatives. Here you have more time to do it. 25 seconds left. Read very carefully. All right. Okay, time's up. I see that someone wrote something on the chat. I'll go with you. Uh, when this quiz is done, I'll go to answer the to the person that wrote in the chat. Okay, the answers were three. Right now, being and immediately, as Felipe said before, immediately has two M's. So the sounds that the two M's produce are regressive assimilation. Same with right now and with being. The final sound of being is something that you have to take a look. Let's see how they put it. Oh,
This is the last question. For this one, you have to turn on your mic or maybe write in the chat box, sorry, the correct answer and the example. So the question is, which prefixes are commonly used in words with regressive assimilation? Give an example. You can write the answer in the chat box, or maybe you can turn on your mic if you want.
Come on, don't be shy. Participate.
we have some answers on the chat box. Tamara says in, im, il, and ir. Okay. And Camila Fernanda says I'll, and the example was illegal. Tamara and Camila are correct. Even the example that Camila gave, sorry, it's also correct. Illegal.
Okay, that's the end of the activity. And congratulations to Tamarita for the first place, Fran to the second place. Evans, that's not me, it's a kind of bot. So the third and the bronze medal goes to Cami. Congratulations to everyone and thank you for your participation.
Great, guys. Well done. This was a really fun presentation, and the quiz was really, really good as well. So claps for you. So overall, both presentations were great. So thank you. And I think we can go now on a short break for 10 minutes and come back here at 6, 7. And then we can continue working. So for the second half of the hour, I will ask you to work on pairs or yeah, on pairs preferably. If someone's missing or someone's doesn't have any team, you can work in groups of 3. But the idea is no more than 3 people. Okay. So during the break, you can start thinking who you're working with, and yes. So okay, 6, 8. You need to be here. Okay. See you later.
Miss,
Tell me.
can I say something before
Yes, of
that we
course.
go into break? Um, and the activity, Sarah Garte says, I wrote total simulation. I would like to say that that answer was correct. It was correct,
Oh.
but I mean, it's like when you do a test on the LMS when you wrote something. I mean, you write the right answer, but but I mean you missed something, but it doesn't mean that is it wrong because total assimilation was the correct answer.
Hmm. So it happens that sometimes you write
Yeah,
a wrong letter, and then the whole answer is wrong, but it is actually right. So it was good, Sarah. Thank you
yeah,
for clarifying that.
yeah. You're welcome. Okay,
No worries.
thank you.
So see you in 10 minutes, right? Okay. Professor Bruno is saying that you need to manually correct the answers. But yes. Thank you everyone for participating. See you in 10 minutes.